Oh, he's going to come in and compete at a high level. I mean, those stats that you just saw and you just talked about, yeah, absolutely. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers right there. I mean, this dude is one of the best quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. This dude is a competitor. You heard what he just said, Nick. He was talking about, oh, we got to show this new defensive coordinator how we do things around here. That's what you want in camp. In camp, you want that offense and that defense, those units, not to like each other. You want to see those guys competing. Once we get through that third preseason game, now we can sit back at the table in the cafeteria and be friends. But right now, we got to compete. Aaron Rodgers is not going to go in that locker room because he has 1 year on his deal and let those guys down. Absolutely not. Look at all the leverage he has now by going out there last year and winning MVP. They didn't win a Super Bowl. He just won MVP, and look at all the concessions they made. Just imagine if Aaron Rodgers goes back out there and he has another MVP year, or if he wins a Super Bowl, add a Super Bowl to that, because this team is more than capable of doing that. And think about the concessions they may have to make then. You know, Brian Gutekunst, you may be valeting his car when he comes in next year if he decides to come back. We're talking about this dude leading the board of directors meeting for all the shareholders and stakeholders in the Green Bay Packers organization. Like, if this guy goes out there and he balls out, Nick, man, the Packers are going to be giving up everything to keep this guy in town.
Well,
so I don't expect him to go out there and not give it his best.
Well, the only part you said that I disagree with is the very end. I think whether he balls out or plays poorly or gets hurt or wins the Super Bowl, this is last year with the Packers. I don't think there's anything they can do to bring him back next year. But if I'm a Packers fan, I'm all right with it. Like, if I'm a Packers fan, everything I've heard over the last week has made me feel the best I have felt since we blew the NFC Championship game to the Bucs. Because Rodgers, and I know you guys talked about it last week, his press conference, not only was it perfect in the moment, it was also perfect for the future, because you don't have to ask any more questions because he answered all of them. So it's not like, I want to move on, let's not talk about it, and now it's going to be a lingering storyline. He let you know exactly what happened, blow by blow, and now you move forward. The other things you saw Devontae Adams on the same page with Aaron Rodgers. You saw David Bakhtiari buy him a damn golf cart. That not only do his teammates love him, the best players on the team really love him. And I think they are all going to unite, not only to try to go win the division, win the conference, win the Super Bowl, but unite in a giant kind of collective bleep you to management. And I think they'll be great. And Wilds, they couldn't be better positioned. Detroit will be bad once again. Chicago, I like Justin Fields a lot, but they're not going to compete at a high level yet. And the Vikings, not shockingly, are already dealing with COVID stuff. And, I mean, some of that is you can't do anything about, and some of that you can do a little bit about, and the Vikings, top of the organization, seems to be hesitant to. And we know what their ceiling is. So I feel like you can absolutely Sharpie them in for the NFC North. I think Rodgers is motivated as he always is. And if I'm a Packers fan, I feel great about this year and this year only. Now, does it end the way The Last Dance with Jordan did? I don't know, but I bet it'll come damn close.
I am very optimistic about the Packers season, depending on what Brian Gutekunst does. So for Tom Brady's last season with the Patriots, he was also 100% in. And there was issues with the receiving core. And Bill Belichick, although he was sort of slammed for not drafting the right wide receivers, they went out and got AB for a game to appease Tom Brady. They traded for Mohamed Sanu to appease Tom Brady. It didn't work out, but Belichick was actively trying to make the team better in the course of that season. So, Brandon, if Brian Gutekunst does the right things here, he will do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers. We saw it with Randall Cobb already, so that's check one.
Right,
I would like to see Jake Kumerow signed. I think Aaron Rodgers would like it. He's on the practice squad in Buffalo. He might not make the team. Send a plane out there, bring him back, make him happy. And then if any free agents come up, I think Gutekunst should listen to Aaron Rodgers and bring him on. We saw when Leonard Fournette was available, Tom Brady recruited Leonard Fournette. All of a sudden, Leonard Fournette scores a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So I think it's smart, and I'm not ruling out that he comes back next year. But Gutekunst needs to make the right moves here. If Gutekunst has moved on in his mind, it's like, all right, this is it, then he's not going to pay attention to any of these free agents that'll be available or trades that could be made. I think they should both come together, not just sort of lip service, really come together and make the team better as the season goes along.
Yeah, there's 4 windows of opportunity for teams to get better in the offseason. 1, you have free agency. 2, you have the draft. And 3, you have late free agency. Some of those older guys, those veteran guys that didn't get picked up throughout the first. You saw Melvin Ingram, right? Melvin Ingram went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I mean. That's that third opportunity. Those late tier guys. Late free agents, you have an opportunity to bring those guys in. And the fourth one is that trade deadline in October. Like, he needs to make a move there. If your team needs something and there's a guy out there that could potentially be on the move, you need to be in those discussions. You need to show Aaron Rodgers that, look, man, we're trying to get it done. Bill Parcells once told me, man, he said, Brandon, all great players, they just want an opportunity to compete. Like, that's all Aaron Rodgers wants. It's like, give me an opportunity. You're seeing all these other teams go out there and try to be aggressive and getting it done, and we're sitting back here, sitting on our hands. Come on, that's all Aaron Rodgers wants. So the next opportunity for them, Nick, is the trade deadline. Is there an offensive lineman you can get if your offensive line is a little banged up or if they're struggling? Is there a running back that you can get if you need a little help there come October? What about on the defensive side? They just want to see you moving. Talk to Aaron Rodgers, keep him in the loop, and you may be in a good position at the end of the year. And, Nick, I push back on you a little bit. Yes, right now it may look like Aaron Rodgers on the move after this year, but if Aaron Rodgers goes out there and he's an MVP again, he wins Super Bowl, or they have an amazing run, there is an opportunity for him to come back. Why would you leave Green Bay? And they're making all these concessions for you.
Well, I don't think they made a ton of concessions. They shaved 1 year off his contract and they brought back Randall Cobb. And you guys are talking about, you guys, maybe while I was gone, Brian Gutekunst had some type of lobotomy or hypnosis therapy. The idea that Gutekunst is all of a sudden, after he has been trying to build the post-Aaron Rodgers Packers through the draft and through his free agency moves, that he's all of a sudden going to be like, hey, let me trade a future second-round pick for whoever this year's Mohamed Sanu is. We have no evidence of that whatsoever. There is, though, one other spot, Brandon, that I think a team can get better, and that's in a few weeks. When right at the end of training camp,
guys get cut.
When teams cut down the roster to 53, there's usually 4 or 5 across the entire league. It's like, oh, wow, that guy didn't make the roster.
Yep.
And it's usually because he wouldn't take a pay cut or he was a little older. So those guys you can get without giving up a future asset. I think that is more likely than the Packers being big free agent deadline guys, because that's not who they've been. Gutekunst is not going to change who he is. And we'll see it over the course of the year, Jenna, who's right, or at the end of the year. But I don't see a scenario where Rodgers is a Packers quarterback at the beginning of next season.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.